will now hear from the City of Charleston's Chief of Police, Gregory Mullen.
Thank you so much, and good evening. It's a real honor and humbling experience for me to be here tonight and be a part of this very important program that's focusing on moving our community forward to find solutions to issues that have for too long caused division among individuals, communities, and countries. An important characteristic of leadership is the ability to constantly scan your environment, reflect, and inquire about issues, and take appropriate steps to prevent and mitigate harm. What can I do as the police chief in Charleston, South Carolina, to avoid the conflict, destruction, and violence that I have witnessed all across our country as the relationships between police departments and our communities deteriorate? This is a question that I frequently asked myself beginning in 2014 as I watched and read story after story of citizen encounters with the police that led to death and chaos. Regardless of the circumstances or who were right or wrong, the outcome was the same. Communities across America were being torn apart, ripped at their seams. And I care deeply about Charleston, its citizens, and my officers. And I wondered, would we be next? My answer came on June 17th, 2015. That night and the days that followed are always near my thoughts and constantly remind me of the tremendous power of the human spirit. I have found a special place in my heart and mind that tucks away those emotions, sights, and memories. However, it only takes a sound or an event or an experience to bring the events of that time rushing back to vivid reality. Little did I know when I received that call that night how profoundly this incident would impact me as an individual and a member of this community. In an instant, I experienced firsthand the damage and destruction that one act of hate can cause an entire country. However, it also gave me strength and the resolve and understanding of the power that faith, love, and hope can inspire, and its ability to completely overshadow evil. As a result of this tragedy, I am traveling a path to gain my knowledge and understanding about how our past is influencing our future, and using my energy to unify police officers and community members to create a trusting and legitimate partnership where each individual recognizes the critical roles that they play in ensuring equality, justice, and safety for all. In Proverbs 27:17, it says, "Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another." When iron blades are stroked together, it becomes even sharper and thus more effective. Likewise, when we are involved in relationships that support and seek positive outcomes and engage in issues that impact us all, mutual benefit occurs. Ecclesiastes 4:9-12 also sheds light on this idea of working together to accomplish important tasks. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe is him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. The Charleston Illumination Project is providing the opportunity for individuals from all parts of our community, all neighborhoods, in all areas, to join together and sharpen one another and increase good works while making sure that we are lifting up our brothers and sisters. This initiative is bringing together people from all parts of our community, residents, academia, business operators, faith-based organizations, law enforcement, political leaders, youth, and the media, and creating opportunities for them to work together in a safe, open, and respectful environment to identify root causes of issues in our community surrounding race and finding solutions that move us forward. Throughout this process, we have engaged stakeholders in a calm, measured, and exploration of public sentiment. This has led to a plan with specific, measurable strategies that police officers, community members, faith-based entities, civic organizations can implement together to make our city a better place. Now, I often ask myself about coming together and talking about issues. But how many of us are actually doing things about those issues? Well, some of the examples of what's happening as a result of the Illumination Project is that we have created a historical educational program about civil rights that are being provided to police officers, created by community leaders with the assistance of the Charleston County Library System. We're advancing training in de-escalation, cultural awareness, interpersonal communication, and dealing with the mentally ill to minimize the potential for tragic encounters to occur. We're also created and implementing liaison officers with communities in the city of Charleston that we need to become more engaged with, like the Muslim, LGBTQ, Hispanic, military, and Black communities, so that we all come together and understand different experiences, hear their voices, and create solutions to move us forward. We're looking at other areas in law enforcement through review of collaborative reform to determine what others are learning that we can implement here proactively so our community can be a better place. Policies and procedures are being developed with citizen input so that we understand when we're creating a program or a process or a procedure that our community is involved in that and is helping us make the best decisions. We've joined the White House Public Data Initiative so that we're sharing information with our community so they know what their police department is doing. They know how we're operating, and they can bring their concerns and issues to us, and they can be heard. And we're also doing what I think is probably one of the most important elements of this initiative, is continuing the most successful citizen listening sessions. We've encountered and touched 1,500 individuals in our community and heard their concerns, listened to their experiences, brought together an opportunity to create solutions. And we have brought communities together so that those experiences can be heard that might not be known in other ways. Like when we bring together the Grace Episcopal Church and the Mount Zion AME to talk about issues, or Maryville and Ashleyville neighborhoods with West Pawnee, or when we bring together our youth from Ashley Hall, Burke High School, and the Links Leadership Roundtable for Youth, to hear what our next generation's concerns are and give them a voice at the table so they can help us to build this community that they'll take forward. With each step, we have built greater understanding and agreement, and this has been positive and helpful. The initiative is the lasting legacy to the community building and unity that occurred with the Mother Emanuel tragedy. As I've gone through this evolution of the Illumination Project and learned and understood and heard the things that I needed to hear, my prayer has become that this initiative and the Charleston community will come together and build bridges that carry us to places that we have yet to imagine. And as I stand here tonight and reflect on the events of June 17, 2015, I pray that I can do my part in honoring and sustaining the legacy of this defining moment in our community and in my life. For me, this horrific and tragic incident demonstrates with such clarity the power and resiliency of the human spirit. It will forever signify the ability of each individual to choose between good and evil. And please remember, when you leave here tonight, you've heard a lot of things. But when you leave here tonight, understand that each and every one of us has a choice to make. We have a choice to make about whether or not we will allow evil to continue to drive the solutions and the narrative and the discussion, or do we choose as individuals to say no more? Do we choose as individuals to pull together as the family members, the victims, and the survivors and follow a path not of hate, anger, or violence that the killer wanted, but that we choose instead to follow the example of grace and forgiveness under unimaginable conditions that rippled across this country and served as a lighthouse for all of us in one of the darkest moments in this city's history. They provided us a vision of the future where love and respect will triumph over hate and evil. And I promise you tonight, as I've promised each and every one of those victims and survivors in my own way, that I am thankful for their vision. I am thankful for their vision, which gave me the opportunity to learn, to seek to understand, and observe transformational impact of thoughts and feelings. And for that, I will be forever grateful. Thank you.